So we've been talking all about peace, love, oneness, some solutions of businesses, all kinds of different things. I'm going to do some controversial stuff too. I think we need it. It's hard topics, but I think it's important for love and oneness. Sometimes you gotta, in an honest inventory, keeping it real, we gotta question some of the real stuff. And one of them is this whole idea of stolen land, right? It's really when I get pissed off on the internet. There was a time I just to be salty or whatever. I don't know. I wrote, I think it's really feminine idea, right? That to have this idea of stolen land at all, right? Because we're conquerors. And we have been, all of humanity, every culture. Women been in the camp, in the kitchen, whatever. There's a few warrior women cultures. For the most part, all of us conquer. And I know that's controversial, and I know there's a bunch of people that are going to hear that, or if anyone watches any of this stuff, are going to be pissed. Because I've seen it, right? I've written it, and I've watched people just get fired up over it. But let me explain. It's important. It's a really important concept. Chimps, proto-humans, everybody has gone to try to find the best, optimal land to reproduce in, right? I think most of what men and women have conquered is been for the women and the children, right? Because you want optimal conditions for your progeny, right? For your offspring. So you go and you try to find the best valley with the cleanest river to raise your kids on, to reproduce, have kids, and then raise them on, right? Since the beginning, chimps do this stuff. Proto-humans do it. Every culture has warriors that have conquered almost all the land. There's a few places maybe in the Arctic Circle or, where nobody else wanted to be. They went to this desolate place and they had very little competition because no one else wants it, right? And they learned to live there. But for the most part, every good habitable piece of land has been conquered at one time or another, whether it was conquering Neanderthals and Homo erectus and other humanoids, or it was just straight up fighting humans. We got to get away from this idea of stolen land. It's so ridiculous. And I'm not justifying what has happened in the Americas. Native Americans are great. But at the same time, how do you know Mother Earth? I kind of go with this whole thing, is that Mother Earth kind of decides. How do you know that they weren't meant to? I love Native Americans. Don't get me wrong, man. I've dated them. I dated an Apache girl for a long time. And, they were warring people. Half the names we call Native American tribes was what another tribe called them, and it means enemy, right? Straight up. They were killing each other. They were master torturers. They would figure out how to keep people alive for days, throw them on on a anthill with honey, roast them over a fire. Straight up, dude. You can't act like everyone wants to act like their culture was this kumbaya, hippie, oh, love, man. No, man, it wasn't like that. Let's just be real. People have been conquering each other for land since time immemorial, since proto-humans, since before our species, Homo sapiens, modern man. This is as old as time. And I get that women don't get it because you weren't involved. You don't know. You just reaped the spoils, right? You were the ones who got the benefits of it. It was the men out there clubbing each other to death and fighting like it still is in most places, right? Now they're talking about drafting women in America and the women are losing their shit. It's nah, because you don't know. And I get you don't know. So it's fine. You want to say that, I get that you would think that. But let's just be real. Just for a second now. People have been conquering. It's conquering for millennia. And I don't want war. You got to understand that. This whole point of all of this is for peace on this earth. Right? But it is what it is. At this point, all we can start fresh. We kind of need a fresh start. Right? And a reset in a good way, right? They want to do the great reset in some kind of evil, turn us all into slaves, I feel like, as like the world is going right now. But we need a reset in love. And just be like, dude, it is what it is now. We can't go back. My family's Eastern European. We had nothing to do with any of this. We were fighting Turks and Mongols and like crazy people too. And like we were not Western Europeans, so we didn't go with all the colonizers and all this, right? But you make it seem like it's this like only white people did this and it's this horrible thing, and like that's crazy. That's the most feminine idea, because only a woman I think would think that. And these dudes saying this stuff, man, that's some Tide Poddery, dude. Straight up just eating Tide Pods and like going off, because it's crazy. It's crazy. Gangsters, I grew up in Long Beach, man. Crips and Bloods were killing each other for street corners. It's the same thing. It's conquering. Why is it okay if they do it, or like it's cool, but then when people do it on a bigger scale, it's bad or whatever? It's the same. It's the same shit. We got to get away from this idea of stolen land and colonizing or whatever. Everybody did it. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Every culture were like warriors killing each other. The Aztecs were from Aztlan. They weren't even from Mexico City, man. Straight up. They went there from Aztlan and saw from a prophecy, saw where a snake was going to be eaten by a hawk, I think, or an eagle. It was where they were supposed to build. It was like this island in the middle of the lake, and they built Mexico City. And so it's like, dude, everybody's been conquering since time immemorial. Please stop with this feminine BS of like, and I know that stings people, oh, misogynist or something, right? People are gonna get super triggered by this, but I'm in this straight for peace. But we got to keep it real. That conquering is as old as humanity. Hopefully that shit can end. Like, we'll stop with the war and the violence. But to act like it's weird or just one culture did it is just ridiculous. Like, it's such a lack of understanding of cultures, right? And, most cultures keep their knowledge to themselves. I feel like maybe Mama Earth wanted, and this is a theory we'll talk about more later, in the sharing of knowledge. Nobody shares knowledge more than Europeans. They just open books, right? They took the master off the mountaintop and put him in the university for everyone to learn. Everyone else is like secret. The master's on the mountaintop. Oh, only a few students can go. They took all the masters off the mountaintop. Like, hey, anyone wants to learn, come learn. Shared all their information. Shared all the technology. That's the crazy thing. Like ungratefulness. Because, dude, the world is harsh. It's harsh as hell. And like people don't realize the plumbing, all the electricity, when we talk about Lister and Pasteur, antibiotics and antiseptics, right? A huge change. Running hot water. If people, it's funny how many people of the earth, one, litter everywhere. And I know back in the day you could throw vegetables anywhere, it didn't matter, but how much litter there is, and then they claim to be these like people of the earth, right? Oh, white people are bad, and they're the people of the earth. I challenge anyone, go out and camp. Not car camp or in a camping site somewhere. I'm talking go backwoods 5-7 miles away from people where there's no one within any, even close to you, and camp for 3 nights. That I'm telling you, you'll come back with a whole new idea of why we created societies, why we live together, why we huddle together against the night and the things that go bump in the night, and that warm water on tap, not having to dig a hole to poop in, all those things, man. People, electricity, just take advantage. Like, what did they give the world? It's crazy. That is the most ludicrous idea in the world. Everyone's a conqueror. Every tribe, every ethnicity on this planet conquered for their land and fought other people trying to conquer them. And like since the beginning of time, because that's just how you make optimal conditions. Chimps do it. All animals do it. It's just a part of survival, right? Optimal land, optimal conditions, the best hunting grounds that you can raise your children on. And it's really for love of your family and your children. It's those who get conquered don't appreciate it, but those who do the conquering appreciate it. And pretty much everybody, like I say, a few in the Arctic Circle, maybe not, but man, this idea is a huge one right now. People love to spit, but you just don't know history. If you really believe that, you have no clue what history really is, because it was brutal. This is the most peaceful time by far. With all these wars starting, all this craziness, it's still probably the most peaceful time. People just go wipe out villages. Like the whole village, nobody even knew. Like some trader would come by a year later and find nothing, remnants. And they were the only ones who knew anyone was even there. Like, dude, the world's crazy. Stop with this like colonial thing, like it's something your culture didn't do, because everyone's culture did it, dude. You gotta stop with this nonsense. It's super feminine. When I hear women say, I'm like, all right, dude, whatever. It makes sense you would think this, but men, please educate the women on this, because like that's crazy. You're talking crazy. It's crazy. Native Americans, dude, they didn't have the wheel. They didn't have horses. They didn't have any of that shit. They were like living in the dirt, man. We were all living in the dirt. And, Western Europe kind of came and, like, really showed what resources could be used for. I can't knock it. I'm not from Western Europe, but, like, I can't knock what they did, because I appreciate electricity. I appreciate cars and trains and planes and friggin' hot running water. And I've camped enough. I love the outdoors. I'm all about it. And I've spent enough nights out in the wilderness by myself and with friends or whatever, with like zero amenities. And I tell you what, man, it's pretty awesome to come home, poop in the toilet, take a hot shower, turn the lights on, be warm, have air conditioning, heating, all that. It's amazing. I'm super grateful. That's it. We're like, have no gratitude for what's actually been given in the world. And so please stop with this stolen land nonsense, colonizers. Like, dude, that's how the whole world started. Western Europe was just crazy good at it. Because it was like fighting people with sticks and stones. Central America, it was like, dude, they fought with sticks and stones. They barely had metalwork and gold, which is malleable almost to your hands. Pure gold is like pretty malleable. It's a really soft metal, right? That's why they don't make weapons out of it. It's like, dude, they didn't have steel. They didn't have any of that. And, like, it's cool until you try to live it, right? Everyone's like, oh, what's wrong with that lifestyle? Well, dude, live it. Go out into nature. If you think it's this great, you will have this, like, dramatic idea in your mind that, like, living like that is super awesome. I challenge any of you, go out, spend 3 days in the wilderness, 4 days, 3 nights, by yourself, 5, 7 miles from anybody else. And I promise you, you will come back to the city and be like, damn, I'm super thankful. If you have any sense in your head. Because, dude, it's brutal and it's hard. And, like, it's not as great as people think it was, right? And so, stop. Just please. If we're going to find peace, we need a reset of love. We need to stop with this whole, like, stolen land madness. Dude, the world's been conquered time and time and time again. Empires have risen and they've fallen, and these people killed these people. And it's like, dude, learn history. Learn basic history. A lot of people don't have as detailed a history as Europeans. They seem like a warlike people because they documented. That's it. They just have really good documents. Asia, too, has tons of wars. They were fighting constantly. And they've just documented it. We don't know South America, Africa, and stuff as much, but I assure you, humans are pretty much the same, like we talked about everywhere. It's one human race. They've been conquering each other too, man. That's why there's countries and tribal lands, and people fought each other for tribal lands, right? Since the beginning of time. All the animals do it. Humans do it too. Stop with the stolen land. It's so feminine, dude. It's ridiculous. It really blows my mind. All right, and in the total thing of love, I'm not saying we should go conquer people anymore, hurt each other, do any of that. I'm not for it. Absolutely not. Everything I'm doing here is for peace. But, like, man, we're warriors, and that's we've done for our families, for our women, for our children since the beginning, time immemorial. So, all right. I wish everyone the blessing to know peace and know their culture and their history and see how far humanity's come. We've come a long way. We have a way like stricter moral code, I think, than we've ever had. You know, people just did horrible things. They're still all over the world. You don't have to look far to see horrible stuff. People doing horrible stuff to each other, right? All in the name of like conquering land. So you guys got to stop that whole narrative because it's not helping anything, and it's ridiculous. You sound ridiculous and just super ignorant of history, you know, and like humanity. You don't know your own humanity, you know, for real, for real. And I love you, and I'm telling you this in all love and peace and oneness, because, dude, for real, that's what I want. But, like, man, the world is a brutal, crazy place. There has been for a long time, man. And we're good at killing each other, and we like to be warriors. We like to fight, dude. Humans like to fight. Native Americans did too. Every culture, right? You know, and you gotta stop. It's just so ridiculous. All right, but peace, love to you guys. Blessings of peace and knowing your history, and that this world comes out of that darkness, and finally we can start something really great. All right, let's do this, people. Save the humans.